I'm the
I'm very good at setting, so I know everything. I'm the smartest kid on there. Not smart, I'm the technology kid on there. Oh, lock screen.
我的名字在哪里呀？
你们快点给我说叫我。
Okay, we are now
我
live
用
on
我的名字
YouTube
呢，还
and
变成你的？
我都是
we
叫
are
我。
going to start.
一个是
Well,
你，有没
chairperson is calling me, so
有病啊你，还要弄个 marker？ 你的名字叫吗？
我现在也用我的名字干啊！招惹我了，我是变成这个了。
我不要跑了。
就在我家门口。在我家门口。
快不要跑了。可以的，他嘛可咋说我可能？你看你名字，你让我你看一下我。我这个自己 meeting 没人管。
都唔係全部人用我名啫。
你看，说我这个 meeting 知道，这是我的，我自己做一个。是。你看，哦，你看看一下，你看一下这个，看一下没？看一下这个。来，你看一下这个。
不要等我嘛！
我教你啊，这是 me， 你有我，这算是你。
看到没了？
知道啊？你知道你不会，你换名字我也不会。我能打一条你？来这么说，你们给我去那边去一下，你给我去那边去一下。
So, folks, I'm going to mute everybody for the moment. And I think I see Paul at the dais. If that person named Paul Mack, who I believe is the only one named Paul Mack, actually, would unmute himself and introduce us, I think we could get.
各位。
Paul, I think you can unmute now. You appear to be unmuted.
I just click all six.
I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. So would you like to
Sure.
to do your opening?
Sure. So thank you, everyone. Welcome. My name is Cesar Zuniga, and I'm the chairman of Community Board 7. I wanted to start by saying that we had a lot of ambitious goals and a pretty positive vision when we started the Asian Affairs Committee. And it never occurred to me that one of the reasons for starting the committee would be to hold such an event. But here we are. And I just want to say that hate has no place in this city. Hate has no place here in Sunset Park. We have been dealing with this type of hate for a long time. And most recently with the tragedy in Atlanta, it's really come to a place where we must stand up against this hate. We must do that together. We need the NYPD to make sure that they're protecting our communities. We need swift justice from the DA's office. But most importantly, we all need to be in this together. And we need to make sure that in addition to calling out the overt hate, that we think about how are we going to deal with the more subtle hate? How are we going to deal with the structural hate that exists? And one of the things that I'm committed to doing, and I know Paul is really tackling hate through our education system. And that's why we really need to make sure that we reform our educational system so that we're having to deal with a curriculum that's a lot more related to the communities that are part of this city. And also a curriculum that really helps to inform people who are not like us, to inform them about who we really are. And so all of this work needs to happen in tandem. All of this work needs to happen as a community that's united. And when they hate on one of us, they hate on all of us. And we must stand up against that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Paul. Paul, thank you very much for having this gathering.
Thank you very much for coming. Can we just have some do the translation to the
大家好，我是来自第7社区的委员 Mr.
Zuniga.
Zuniga。
Yeah.
今天我没有想到这个会议我会来讲面对这个仇恨亚裔的事情，因为我没有想到这个事情会发生在今天这样子，让我们有这个开这个会议。那面对仇恨跟暴力，我们都需要一起共同的面对，一起发声来面对仇恨跟。我们需要保证我们是团结的、一致的面对仇恨、跟攻击、跟暴力。那我们也需要纽约市的警局的帮助，面对我们的这些最近的仇恨、亚裔的仇恨、跟攻击、跟暴力。那还有一点我想说的是，面对在教育系统上面的不公平。仇恨也是一个很重要的问题。职业上面的仇恨、暴力和无缘无故的攻击是一件很不对的事情。那我们当他们对我们一个人攻击、暴力、仇恨，就等于是对我们全部的社区一样。所以，请大家一起。
Okay. Hi. Again, thank you very much for joining our meeting. My name is Paul Mack, Chair of the Asian Affairs Committee of Committee Board 7. Thank you, all the members, our CP7 chair, to join us to really take time to really listen to the concerns of our community. So, a couple of things I just want to point out. There is a long history of hate crime against the Asian Americans, and especially after the pandemic, we have seen a big increase of it. If we look at newspaper, looking at the reports, they have been talking about maybe 150% or even 1,500% increase. But as I mentioned to the NYPD commissioner earlier, there are two types of situations that are impacting our Asian community. The first one, of course, with the violent crimes, of course, the police are being called, ambulance are being called, and they, those are the stories that will be in the newspaper. But however, there are many more situations where just a verbal harassment, coughing in front of you, mumbling racial slurs while they are next to you, and bumping you and things of that nature. So with that, non-violence or the verbal discrimination, basically, I think we have seen over 10,000% increase. But however, it's very difficult for the NYPD or for our community to really capture the number. As the NYPD just mentioned, sometimes even if you are yelling at somebody or telling somebody to go back to China, there could be the case that they consider that as a free speech, and as a result of that, not even anything can be done by the NYPD. The last thing I want to, so therefore, I think it's really important that whenever we encounter smaller situations, that we really need to report the crime, because without doing so, we are just not able to eliminate the hatred that are dear to our population. So again, hoping that we could hear more from your first-hand experience. And we have a couple members that are here, so I want them to just say a few words briefly before we start listening to your concern. Mr. Tony Fong.
My name is Tony Fong. I'm happy to be here, and I just want to
encourage everyone just come out and tell what you have seen and report it to the police. Because even though we may not have as much help as we could, but I believe the NYPD will do a lot of things. They can record your case. They can put it as a big number, including with other people who will report the cases. Then we could do something with it. Just encourage everyone, stand out and tell us what you have experienced. The one I pass to Mr. Chen.
Thank you. My name is Danny Chen. I'm the member of the Committee Board 7. We all get here as one reason, because the hate. That was very heavy. Since I got to this soil, I already taste that kind of thing. It's been there for so long. I'm going to echo Cesar what he said. Education, I think that will prevent a lot about this. We got to teaching them since they are go to school, make sure they are understand how to respect. Not teaching them too much proud. Yes, proud is good. Too much proud is no good. So we are facing that kind of thing and make them they putting us in that position. They hate us. That's not right. We are hardworking people. We come here just fulfill our American dream. We all have a same purpose. Want to make our family, our children have a better life. All our sacrifice, we should have respect. So we all have to stand up, make sure when you're facing that kind of hate and that kind of harass, call 911. Police and the New York City will help you. And also, I will using this opportunity, thanks those officers around us. I've been seeing a lot of them around us. They all come here to support us, protecting us. Thank you very much.
Maybe we could just give the translator the opportunity to.
大家好，我们都是来自地区聚落公园社区的委员。那我们今天在这边很感谢大家的参与。自从这个新冠疫情开始了，我们的这个社区的反亚裔罪行不断的增加，特别是增加的这个发生率呢，增加到了150%以上。这里面呢有包括2类不一样的犯罪。第一种呢是暴力的行为犯罪，比如说是面对一些我们亚裔的居民啊，他会有一些暴力的行为，仇恨我们，用体力或者是做一些仇恨的动作，暴力的行为，言语上的憎恨。那这2种呢，其中第2种的话呢是比较难去收集他们的这个资讯，怎么样才能够真正的断定它是不是语言上的恨呢，还是一个自由言论自由的问题？那这方面我们是需要探讨的。那无论是哪一种，我们都希望各位能够遇到这些情况一定要打911报警，这样子才能够让这个社区得到真正公平的还有安全的这个整一个生活的环境。谢谢大家。
好，大家好，我是 Mr. Tony Fang， 谢谢大家今天来参加我们这个会议。在此我勇敢的鼓励大家，如果大家有面对仇恨有相关的经验，或者是有面对过暴力，请大家一定要发声，只有发声才能让警察局知道。只有发声才能让大家在外面社区媒体看到我们有这样的经历，才能让大家看见。
OK， 大家好，我是 Ben
也是其中的一位委员。那面对这个是在这个我们现在所面对的整一个情况的话呢，我们是觉得非常的不公平，因为我们来到这里都是想要建立一个安全的社区，跟大家能够努力辛勤的劳作。然后的话呢，能够安享这个太平的这个社会，但是到今天呢，我们看到了非常多的不平等，而且是非常不安全的社区的一些形式，是因为由于因为亚裔的这些暴力行动使得我们整一个社区非常的不安全，所以我恳请各位，如果遇到任何这些问题，都需要打911的电话，让他们知道我们是需要帮助。谢谢。
Okay.
Okay. Hi, everyone. First, I want to thank you, Paul, CBA, and hook this up and put it together. Thank you, CB7 Chair, Sisa, and all the members here and the volunteer. My name is Kenny Guan, and also I'm a board member of Community Board 7. I've been in New York City, and actually I grew up here more than 30 years, and we know how is that like, and for Asian discrimination against Chinese, Asian, because in high school years I experienced this hate, and this is for my experience, and I have to fight back, I have to defend myself. So that's why don't be afraid, because enough is enough. You all belong here, and we all belong here. This country is all immigrant country, because it's nobody, hey, I'm white, I'm black, or brown, or yellow, or Asian, you here. Everybody belong to here, this country. That's why we're so united, and we're so unique, and that's why we all love America. When I say defend yourself, for example, right, it happened for a week ago. A late elderly, a female from San Francisco, someone attacked her, and she defend herself. She's like over 75, I believe, right? So, but she fight back. So sometimes you not be afraid. You just defend yourself, with the best situation. But just be smart, right? Call 911 is the best thing, but sometimes cannot help you. You have to fight the way to survive, and you have to fight the way to defend yourself. Just don't be afraid. Yeah, of course, the language barrier is the big issue for all the Chinese, Asian. So I encourage everybody, don't be afraid, and just learn more English when you live in this country. That's my support, and we're here, and we all talk about it. We not be afraid. So we stand up with all the Asian and all the people, all the hate. So thank you, everybody.
大家好，我是来自第7社区的 Kenny Chan。首先我先 Kenny Guan， Kenny Guan。首先我先感谢 BCA 华人协会今天能举办这个会议，也谢谢其他第7社区的委员们来参加今天这个会议。那我在美国有待了差不多30年。那在我在高中的时候，我也类似有过被欺负的经验，所以不过我当时有为自己发声，保护自己。所以我在这里想跟大家说，如果你也面对类似的情况，大家一定不要害怕。我们虽然美国是一个多元化的国家，我们在这里是共同面对这件事情的，所以我要跟大家说，千万不要害怕。那如果面对这种情况，当然打911也是很好的。那如果是911没有办法当时马上反应保护你们自己的话，你们自己一定要不要害怕，一定要保护自己。那不久前在三藩市有一个75岁的老人家，也是被在街上被一个人袭击了。那他当时也是为了自己保护自己，自身防卫，也为了自己反击了那个袭击他的人。所以在这里我想跟大家说的是，我们面对这种情况都是一起面对这种情况，所以一定不要害怕。
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michael. I'm the member of 47. Okay, I am in United States for more than 40 years. So I saw a lot of things happen. For example, if something happened to you, you want to call 911. Everybody say call 911. I don't agree with that. Why? Because you call 911, the number one thing they will ask you, that person got weapon? Yes or no? If you say no, no weapon. And then they said, anybody hurt? You say no. And then you will be ignored because nobody want to help you like this way. So number one thing, and then you have to take care of yourself. If somebody want to hit you, number one thing, if you can prevent that, avoid that, you just run away. Otherwise, you have to fight back. If you don't fight back, you will be the dead person. So call 911. I don't agree with them. Okay. I work in the police station as auxiliary police for 20 years. And then I saw a lot of things. It's not fair. You know, a lot of people, they take advantage from the Asian community, and we got the feedback is very poor, and nobody really can support us. They just are talking, you know, just talking something to the preference, to the press or whatever, but really, they don't do anything. Just like the politician in Sunset Park. I don't know who can help us. I don't know. Councilman or state senator? I don't think so. The best thing for us, and we can unite it together. This is my suggestion. And then, you know, we watch each other's back. Otherwise, nobody will watch you. Nobody watching your back, okay? Police, even police, you know, even that person standing in front of you, the police is standing next to him. And if he has no weapon, he can nothing. You know, you want to make a complaint, you want to make a citizen arrest, I don't think you can do anything, okay? So the most important thing, and then just stand out, talk it out, and then let the politician know and vote. If you don't want to vote, nobody talk for you. Okay, that's my comment today. Thank you.
大家好，我是 Red Pop 我也是来自这个第7社区委员会的委员我在美国呢已经生活了40多年，见了非常多的事情。刚才大家都有说到我要保护自己，我们呢又需要打911，但是911会问你很多问题，比如说这个人有没有带武器这个人有没有对你有没有人身安全的这个危险他们处理案件呢会有优先排序。所以的话，最好我现在是建议大家，除了打911，还需要的是要保护他自己。还有呢，就是希望大家能够，呢去投票，这样子的话，有更多的议员为我们发声，这样子才能够真正的做到，除了我们自己发声以外，有人在发声，把这些事情处理好。谢谢。
All right, thank you all the committee member and board member. I think we have Honorable Assemblyman Peter Barty that are joining us. Assemblyman, would you like to say a few words?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, well, first of all, Caesar and Paul, thank you for calling this meeting. And I just want to say, you know, how upset I've been and how it hurts my heart to see what's going on in our communities. And I think there are two things that we got to stress is one, as he said, education. We really have to stress education to the young people today and let them know, as Kenny said, that this is America. Everyone is welcome here and everyone should stay here and there should be no violence against them. The other thing I want to say is, I know I was just listening to the other gentleman saying that don't report it to 911. But me and Paul just left a meeting with the commissioner a little while ago, the police commissioner. And believe me, that might have been the case in the past, but they are committed, very committed, especially in our neighborhood, to make sure that this violence stops. So I would tell people, report it to 911, report it to anyone you can. Let our neighborhood and community groups know what's going on so we can help. And there are things that elected officials can do. If the police are not following up, then it's my job to make sure they do, and I will continue to do that. And the last thing I just want to say is we have to get a better education from local groups. And what I'm trying to do in the state with the Asian and Pacific Caucus is so we can get additional funding for the groups, for the outreach such as this that we're doing. So again, it's a pleasure to be at this meeting. I'm sorry the circumstances, but my office is available. I think Irene is on the phone too. And again, as I said, we just left the police commissioner and they are very committed to stopping this hate. So again, thank you.
Thank you, Assemblyman.
I did not say don't report to 911. I said the number one thing, the first thing you have to protect yourself. Call 911 for the number one thing is not very important. Number one thing is to protect yourself and then call 911. I did not say do not call 911. Apadi, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, no, you're right. First, always protect yourself and then call 911. But protect yourself, your families, or if you see crime going on. Again, thank you.
Because if you call 911, they ask you, that guy have a weapon. Are you hurt?
Oh.
If you say no,
yeah,
that person will attack you.
I don't think it's really a concern. I think we got cut off from time to time with the point. So yeah. Once again, thank you very much, Assemblyman. We like to briefly translate.
谢谢，现在有纽约市的众议员Peter 参加我们这个会议。那谢谢 Mr. Coleman 今天组成这个会议。面对仇恨，面对暴力，我们要说不。那如果发生类似的情况、类似的攻击、类似的暴力，请大家一定要拿911报警 report。那如果呢，警察局对这个仇恨犯罪是非常的认真，他们已经组成了一个反亚裔仇恨的专案小组。那如果大家对举报了没有反应的话，那我们众议员的办公室一定会跟警察局跟进。谢谢大家。
Okay. So I guess we will begin our little testimony. So we hope that we can hear and learn from the community. So I really have to apologize to everyone because I was under the assumption that the Zoom account provided by Community Board 7 would allow for a maximum of 500 participants, and somehow I think we learned it the hard way. The maximum is 120 or 122. So therefore, we are also using our second Zoom account. So to do so, but unfortunately, I have to allow the question from the other account because we are still waiting for the authorization from CB7 to really allow the people to come in. So with the BCA Zoom account, so maybe we could start hearing from some of the committee members with their concerns. We'll get back to the CB7 account. I apologize for that.
Board members, you could raise your hands.
Okay. Okay.
I don't see any board member hands up right now.
I'm raising my hand physically.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Couldn't see you,
Cynthia
please.
Felix, sorry. I know there's a lot of people on the call.
Please,
Cynthia. Cynthia, please. Maybe you should unmute yourself. Yeah, perfect now.
No, I just want to say thank you for putting together the forum and allowing the opportunity for everyone to be able to speak. I've seen a lot of activities that are happening, and I do want to show my support for my community and say that I'm very saddened by the activities that have been going on. And I do hope that through education, that we get better, because together we are stronger. So thank you for providing the opportunity for this forum and encouraging people to speak up, because I know a lot of times people are afraid and they shouldn't be. They should speak up if they have any minor crime occur to them. And I do have a question. I don't know if the police are here or if someone can answer this. So I saw yesterday that now
my picture didn't come up on the phone.
That the preset now that you could report crimes online, would this apply to this as well? Or is that just for minor crimes?
Well, I guess it is my understanding that I also saw that in the newspaper today. It might take them a little time to start implementing that. So I'm hoping that within a very short period of time, they'll be able to get the system going so that we could start doing so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy, again.
OK， 很感谢 Cynthia 刚才的发言是说，很感谢大家今天的参与，然后他的参与是为了表达他的支持，对我们这个反亚裔这个仇恨罪的整一个事情的一个支持，希望大家能够不论是大小的罪行都要说出来，勇敢的说出来。还有一个问题就是我在报纸上有看到说，现在纽约市警局呢是推行了一种在线，就是上网去报案的这个机制。那不知道现在的进度如何？那刚才我们的会长呢，布文化协会会长说，现在也是在跟进当中，具体的事项到时候会再说。谢谢。
Again, thank you, Cynthia. I think we have any other board members? Jeremy, any other board members?
I don't see any other panelists' hands up right now. I see one attendee hand up.
Okay, Mr. Tang, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, can everybody hear me?
Perfectly.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now I'm not a community member, right? But I do have a comment. I'm glad that to see there's a meeting that Community Board 7 hosts regarding this topic. I just have several comments I just want to express. The first thing is I believe that right now we have all the laws that apply to this hate crime, either at the federal level and the local level, right? So I believe the legislature side is okay. And I also believe that the law enforcement, they are doing what they can, everything they can do within their limit, right, to fight against this crime. But the only problem that I'm seeing is the judicial side of basically the court system and the so-called bail reform, right? That actually promotes all these violent crimes. And I'm glad that Assemblyman Peter Abadi is also on the call. So I know for the past year, there's so many amendments to this bill to actually not to repeal the bill, but at least to make it to close all the loopholes, right? So is there any other action being taken on this particular bill? Now, the other thing that I also want to comment is the education system, right? A lot of crime actually, if we can get the school involved, right? I would say at least for the youngsters, right? When they grow up, right? They will start learning that, okay, we have to live, all the racial group should be working hand in hand, right? Instead of promoting okay, one racial group is higher than the other one, right? And that's about it. And the other thing is because my role also I work with the assembly office, the minority office. So that the other thing that I would like to do is what we can take back, right? And to see what at least at the state level can do. And that's all. That's all my comments.
Thank you very much. We'd like to do a brief translation first.
大家好，我是陈先生，很高兴今天有参加这个会议，而且也很高兴有这个会议 我们来讨论一下。在刚才我们已经提到过了，有很多警察会有帮助我们，司法部门也有帮助我们，但是我现在想知道有没有任何法案上提议说对这种事情有任何的一些就是改善完善。所以在法案层面上，我不知道会不会有更多的一些完善的措施。另外一样呢，就是说我们的教育系统也是需要完善的，让我们能够重视下一代的教育，让他们知道种族平等的重要性在哪里。所以教育系统也应该有个完善，对于这些事情。谢谢。
I'm not the expert, but I fully agree and echo with you the importance of incorporating our concerns into the education system or the lessons. I think at the younger age, if we are able to really foster everyone to be working together and really offer the opportunity so that all students are able to learn different cultures, definitely is something that we hope that we'll be able to accomplish. And we are hoping that with the new chancellor that will be with us for the next 8-9 months, we hope that we are able to convince them of doing so. Regarding any proposed bill within the New York State, they mentioned a few, but however, nothing has been concrete yet. Because my understanding is that having a bill, having it approved is very important. But however, how the police or how the law is really interpreting or how it is being determined, whether it's a racial or non-racial situation, I think we have to iron those out first, because with a new bill, they could say that, the maximum punishment will be for X amount of years. But however, with the free speech and everything, I think cursing you, yelling at you, having you to go back to your native country, that could be their freedom of speech. So we need to iron out those before any law would make a positive impact to our community. But again, we will keep that in mind, and thank you very much for your suggestions.
谢谢大家。我同意刚刚那个陈先生说的，提出来的改善学校里面的教育教导小朋友从小要团结，要面对不同文化、不同背景的时候都要平等的面对、平等的对待。那法律上面的改善跟考虑，我希望他们有更多层次的考虑进去，来改善我们这一个不平等的事情。谢谢。
All right, thank you. Stephen Z. Stephen, please unmute yourself. Mr. Stephen Z.
Stephen Z. I no longer see him.
Boston Lam.
He may have just left the meeting.
Okay. Wilson Leung, Leung. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. You can begin. Miss Leung.
OK, thank you. 我呢今天就很高兴能够来参加这个会议。然后呢，在最近有很多关于针对我们亚裔被炸鸡的事情呢，真的是层出不穷的很多。特别呢是早几天呢，我在新闻看到的一个是19号在旧金山的一名关于一个11岁的华裔的女孩呢，她被强行的关进浴室里面，然后家中的财物被洗劫一空。这件事情呢，真的给我的感触是最大的，因为我自己也有一个女儿是8岁，很难想象如果这个事情发生在我女儿身上会是什么个情况。还好不幸中的大幸呢，是2个男人呢，他们的目标只是钱财，这个小女孩没事，这个是还蛮不错的后果啦。然后不然的话呢，真的是那个后果真的不堪设想。所以我真的很感恩这些事情呢没有在我身边发生。但是呢，关于这些仇恨亚裔的行为， 我们呢真的都不容忽视，因为如果我们今天不站出来反抗，我们只是沉默不言，相信很有可能下一个受害者就是我们或者我们身边的朋友。所以呢，我们真的需要站出来，我们需要团结一致的为我们的权利去发声，绝对不做亚裔。我的感想在这里，谢谢大家。
谢谢 ，Thank you。
My name is William Liang. Actually, these days I've been watching a lot of news regarding the attack of the Asian people. And one is about one 11-year-old girl. The home has been broken, and there's a lot of issues happening around. But luckily, I'm not the one who get broken into the house. But I do feel that it's necessary for all of us to stay together and speak up all our the experience, the awful experience, so let them know that what we have been experienced right now. So I really hope everyone can speak up. Don't be silent. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one is using my sign in. It's Paul Mac. I don't know if you know you are next. If you know, please unmute yourself.
I asked them to unmute. I'm going to ask them to unmute again.
Rachel, could you?
Maybe someone can talk to them.
Yeah. Could you? Rachel, could you tell them to unmute?
OK 请举手的人可以把叫 Paul Mac 的这个举了手的这位人士可以把那个静音给关掉，这样子的话才能听到你说话。
If not, Papa, we will go to the next one, 871 HSISIWEI. Shall we?
Hello.
Hi.
Okay.
Yes.
I haven't experienced such a kind of thing, but I saw some newspapers about some news. And several days ago, I saw a mother is taking a 6-year-old girl. They are attending a parade, right? About to stop the Asian hate. But some African Americans come to her and want to follow the post something signs, and the mother followed to him, but he's going to hurt her, and just in front of her daughter. And this, and this is a horrible thing. So, I just assume one thing: if I'm alone or with my kid outside, someone came to curse on me, yelling something like China virus or go back to China, and I don't want to make things worse. Then I choose to leave, But he's going to hurt me and my kid. What should I do? So I have a question. If I have a handgun, I bear a handgun with me and with the license, should I shoot him? If this is a very urgent situation, can I shoot him? And I know the NY know about using bear a handgun, but will it be different for Asians to defend ourselves? For our district, for now, I think we don't have much police protection. Will you provide more police protection for us? Thank you. This is my question.
Do you want to answer the question? I can take the question.
Okay.
So I think when you say when you have a gun, do you want to shoot him?
Yes.
I'll say, okay. If you have a gun with a license, a legal license.
Yes.
But if your life got dangerous, but someone approach you against you, or maybe your life in danger, yes, I believe you have a gun license, you can shoot him. But if your life in danger, but if someone approach you, just maybe cursing you, not do any danger, or maybe just harassing you, you go back to China, your virus, things like that, I don't think that's legal. You shoot him. 我觉得这样你开枪不是合法，但是如果你手都生命的威胁，你可以开枪，这个是合法。但是
你一定要觉得你的 license， 你的枪是不是有 license， 这个是很重要。
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I just want to add that maybe it's good that it's not easy to obtain a license within the city of New York. So therefore, I think we have one less thing to be concerned of. But however, when something in that nature happening to our community members, we would suggest them the first thing is to really try to escape from the situation, because I think shooting people might be good, but however, I think protecting yourself, making sure that you or the family members that you are with are not in any harm's way, I think that would be the first thing. And since again, very, very difficult to really obtain the gun license for the New York City for the carrying license. So at least we do not have to be concerned of that. But again, I think the first thing is to protect yourself by escaping from situations that might be harmful to you. And the next thing afterward will be probably contacting the police and see what follow-up that can be implemented. So once again, thank you for your question.
Thank you.
OK， 刚才Mr. Paul 的意思就是说，我们在这个纽约市呢考枪牌呢是很难，要经过培训，然后还要考试，然后才能够拿到。当然，我们不希望你是说，就是因为这件事情，要马上拔枪，只是说遇到这些事情的话，最好的第一个方法是要逃离就是危险的状态，然后的话才会考虑下一步。谢谢。
All right, thank you. Again, I have.
Okay, I want to say something else, because if that person don't have any weapon, you cannot shoot him or shoot her, even you have a license. Thank you.
如果袭击你的人对你进行暴力的人，他是没有携带武器的话，那就算你有枪支的牌照，我也不希望你对那个人开枪。谢谢大家。不希望，是不可以对那个人开枪。Cannot.
Rachel, we have I see 3 people under the name of Paul Mack. You want to see if they could unmute themselves?
请现在在线上叫
They claimed they was out there with Black Lives Matter. Welcome to our world. They ain't nowhere.
消除静音才可以发言。
Hello. I have an experience want to share to everyone. I work at a pharmacy. One times I work. A homeless come in and doesn't wear mask, and he's very strange. Take off her shirt, her hat, and talk. I don't know what he's talking. Maybe I don't know. I think he might have mental problem. And we have 3 workers. We all very afraid because the newspaper report all the bad news to the heart. We are afraid the person will hurt us. Then we call the police, but the police ask a lot of questions, like, do the person wear weapon, or the person want to hurt us? But no. After 1 hour, the police doesn't come. But luckily, the person left. After I think 2 hours, the policeman come and ask what happened. We said the man already left. And I want to say, if someone want to hurt us, we are not silent. At least we say, get away from me. Because some elderly people, they don't speak English. They don't know how to say that. I teach my elderly people, elder people, family member to say that two sentence like get away or go away like that. Thank you. That's my opinion.
Oh, thank you.
大家好，我有一个类似的经验想跟大家分享。我是一名在药店工作的人员。那有一天有一个看起来很像流浪汉的人来到我们，没有戴口罩来到我们的药房，那他行为我们会觉得很奇怪。那我跟我们另外2个的同事看起来都很害怕他。那当时我们有举报给警察，那警察当时也问了很多问题，虽然警察没有马上的来到来到现场，不过呢，我是希望大家一定不要因为有语言的障碍不能发声，就算学习一些简单的话来保护自己也是很好的。谢谢。
So yeah, I just want to say a couple of things. I think, now that the question of mental health has come up, I think we have to be, I think a lot of these questions around mental health, again, I think deal with much broader issues that I think this city needs to tackle. And so, look, I think we're all entitled to defend ourselves. I think if you feel like your life is in danger, you should do whatever you can do to defend yourself. And I think that's always seen as a justified sort of self-defense is always seen as something that we're entitled to do. But when we're talking about mental health, we have to have a very serious conversation in this city about what are the resources that we have to support people with mental health issues. And I think this conversation is one that we've been having, but I think we need to have in a much more intentional, a broader context where we're thinking about the resources that we're going to need and that we do need to address mental health conditions. And I think we have a long way to go. I think part of having that conversation is to talk about the stigma that comes with mental health conditions. I think that's a really big part. And again, I think everything for me circles back to educating our community and to bringing resources into our communities to truly tackle some of these structural questions, and in this case, mental health. So I think I'm hearing everyone's anxiety, I'm hearing everyone's anger, if you will, but I want to encourage us all to just remember that violence begets more violence, right? And so I think part of what we have to do, and again, I'm not talking about the situations where our life is in danger. Of course, we have to do everything we can if we feel like our lives are threatened. I'm talking more about having conversations that really address in very fundamental ways the questions that come up around mental health, the questions that come up around mental health and the police and some of the other resources that we need. And I think this is a time for us to really dig into these conversations about how we're going to bring more resources to our communities to address, in this case, what this last caller brought up is the mental health issue in the city.
OK， 我想回应一下刚才的问题哈。刚才你们是有提到过说有一些精神有一些人有一些流浪汉是有一些精神的问题。那这个精神的问题呢，我们这边呢也是一个重要的议题。希望大家能够在除了有这个自己要遇到事情时候要保护自己，但是我还是希望呢，整一个社区的资源的配置呢是需要达到一个标准，这样子的话呢，才能够更好的处理这些所谓有精神问题的这些有精神困扰的这些人。他们才能够就是远离我们这个社区，或者说给他帮助，让我们的社区呢更加安全。还有另外一个问题就是教育的问题了。那我们要花更多的资源在教育方面，在这个暴力增加、危及生命的这些社区里面呢，分享更多的一些社区的资源保护好大家，然后教育方面的话也教育好大家，这样子的话呢，才能够更好的保护这个社区。当然，这个议题是很重要，要花很多的精力和精神去处理。 去在不断的发掘资源，所以这方面我们会要尽力的，谢谢。
Thank you. The next one would be 871 HS5 shallow. 871 HS5. You could unmute yourself.
871 5班的这个叫Chloe 的人，可以把你那个静音的那个开关关掉，这样子你
警官你好，我是八大道的民众。前2年我带着我女儿去那个逛商场，然后突然有一个别的族裔的美国人女人，就她突然冲过来，然后用手指着我，然后就谩骂，就说啊什么滚回中国啊什么的。然后我当时带着我的女儿，我女儿很小，还在那个推车里面，然后我当时就特别的害怕，就不希望有这种事情发生。
Thank you.
The other day I was shopping with my little daughter when I was in when we were in someone go back to China. I really feel so scared that I did not hope this will happen again. I really hope nothing will be happening like this again.
Thank you for your question or comment. This is very unfortunate. As I mentioned earlier, there's a long history of that. What we could do is that by working among ourselves, by collaborating with the outside world, we hope that one day we'll be able to eliminate that. But until then, we really need to make sure that we are being fully protected, and that we should not get into too much of a confrontation or anything. So the first thing that we need to bear in mind is to really protect yourself and escape from the situations, and all others we could talk about that afterward. But protecting yourself, protecting your family would be the most important thing. I fully agree. Mental health is definitely a situation that we also need to tackle on.
谢谢你的发言，谢谢你的分享。那我想说的是，那大家一定要团结一致，在面对这种问题。那在这些问题解决之前呢，我希望大家面对这种情况的时候，一定要保护好自己，马上离开现场。那面对这种问题，大家不要惊慌，一定要先保护好自己。谢谢。
Thank you. The next one, 757 60th Street, Leo.
Okay, 6班757。
Not Leo. Oh, okay. Leah.
你好，就是我自己本身呢是没遇到这种情况，但是我之前有一个朋友跟我讲，他就是在去拉斯维加斯旅游的时候呢，有一次呢就是在路上行走的时候呢，有一个路人就指着他说 "Go back to your trailer"， 就是他那个时候就觉得很伤心。我觉得我们呢，美国呢是一个移民国家，它不属于哪一个特定的种族，它是属于我们大家的。我们生活在这个国家，我们都是美国人，希望我们能共同团结努力，把它建设得更美好、更强大。我希望呢，能在未来的教育中呢，能强调让孩子们知道呢，他们都是美国人，不存在任何的种族区别。希望我们的下一代呢，在美国能生活得更安全、更平等、更美好。在法律上呢，我是希望能加强对于这种种族排斥行为的加重刑罚，就是遏制这种行为的这种排斥种族行为的这种行为。这只是我个人的一些想法。谢谢。
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you for your question. We understand that America is a immigrant country, and everyone should learn how to respect each other. As this is the case.
And also, our constitution also protect our freedom of speech. So what he telling you is he might not understand what constitution mean to him or her, but as a citizen, then we should learn this and understand it. And so don't feel sad when people cursing you like that. Just leave the place and protect yourself and your family. And you could report it to the police, but I don't think they can do much about that. I hope you understand that we all have the right to stay in this country and don't feel sad on that. This might be my answer. Hopefully, do we have anyone could answer that?
Your answer is already perfect. Who could top that? Yes, please.
刚才我是完全理解你刚才的这个遭遇，但是在我们美国的宪法呢，会有规定有保护言论自由，那个人会有得到相对的言论自由的保护，但同时的话，我们也要界定清楚这个是言论自由，还是说是有一个就是一个仇恨的一个言论在里面。所以第一时间我们当然是还是建议你需要报警，要把这个事情说出来。第二的话，当然也是要逃离现场，尽量保护好自己。谢谢。
Thank you. The next one, 757-660HS3 Leah.
3班 Leah 757的。
OK， 好啊，你好，我是前几天就是上街的时候，就是买菜的时候，就是回来的时候，在路上有一个流浪汉哈，就是经过流浪汉，然后流浪汉突然间向我伸手说要 money 或者是要食物，然后这个情况下，本来我是第一时间是想马上离开的，但是后来想一想他挺可怜的，然后我就把我没给钱，我没有给他 money， 我就把我手上的一袋食物就给了他。我不知道这个情况下我这样子做对不对？我就想问一下，这样子是要怎么样？就想，我就发言完了。
Thank you, thank you.
Recently, I was on the street buying grocery and I encountered a homeless person asking for money. But I didn't give him any money, but I gave him some food because I feel sorry for him. So I don't know if my action is right or wrong. Can anybody like?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's very kind, and it's what we all should be doing, is taking care of each other, right? I think your instinct to want to give someone food is a very natural one, and so I commend you for doing that. And I think you're raising another issue that I think it has many root causes that we need to tackle as a city: homelessness. And I think we've seen an increase in homeless families and homeless folks in our city. And that's another one of these conversations that has lots of complexity. There are root causes. People don't want to be homeless. I think there's a whole set of circumstances that lead people to homelessness. And we have to do better. We have to do better to address the issue of homelessness. But again, I commend you for your very generous act. And I want to encourage us all to continue to try to be as generous as we can to one another, even in these very hard times. I know it sometimes it feels hard to do that. But I think that we need more of that, not less of it.
Can I just?
Yes.
Your kindness is very grateful, to such a good heart to everybody. But sometimes you have to know what you do and make sure yourself safe first. And what we are concerned about, that lately in this neighborhood, you will face a lot of homeless. I would say because in New York City, they dump a lot of homeless shelter in our neighborhood. This kind of issue we are facing, the last 2 years. And unfortunately, it cannot stop. We show sympathy to all the homeless, same feeling, we do facing that issue by only one community, like Sunset Park community, not the whole New York City. We gotta be fair. Yes, we want to help them out, but can such a small community solve that issue with the whole city? That will be a concern. Yes.
OK，刚才的这位参与者呢，他说了另外一个议题是关于流浪汉的问题哈。那首先非常感谢你出于好心帮助别人，我们当然互相要帮助。那另外呢，我想让您知道的话，就是你在做这件事情之前，要首先考虑你的自身的安全问题，因为现在我们知道在 Brooklyn 呢。我们这边会有很多的一些流浪汉，在这一区经常会出现很多流浪汉，那也会有很多这些庇护站是建在我们这个布本这一区的。我们知道这一区如果是有越来越多这样的人的话，你要注意你的个人的人身安全。出于好心是一件事情，但是还是最重要的还是要保护好自己。那现在我也知道在整一个纽约市呢，会有说要建立更多的这些庇护站，来让这些流浪汉能够居住，或者是有一个地方暂时的栖身。但是我希望这件事情呢，应该是整一个社会整一个城市去承受这样子的一个责任，而不是只是我们的日落公园这个社区承受这样的事情。谢谢。
Thank you, Danny. Cherry
Montejo.
Cherry Montejo. Do we have a Cherry here?
She appears to have left.
Okay, we'll do the next one. Ling Tang, Tan. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, this is Eling. My name is Eling Tan, and I'm from NYU, the Center for the Study of Asian American Health. I just want to say that at the Center for the Study of Asian American Health, we have heard a lot of stories about violence towards our community. This has started way before COVID. It has definitely been amplified during COVID. And even now, our staff and faculty members here have expressed fear about being attacked while walking on the streets or taking the subway. I also wanted to share that personally, while during work hours at NYU, we experienced a racist Zoom bomb incident. It was horrific. There were pictures of a Chinese woman's head being grafted onto a pig while the pig was being roasted over a flame. That was just one of the pictures that were shown during this Zoom bombing incident, along with a lot of threats and descriptions of the Chinese people. I reported this to the police, and this happened last year in April. I called the hate crimes department. They refused to take my report. I was told to go in person during the middle of a pandemic to my police precinct, where I waited over 3 hours outside in the cold to make a report, only to be told by the police officer that because I couldn't identify the person, that I should not even bother to make this report, because they can't do anything about it. And mind you, I had the resources and the recognition of a pretty major institution behind me. I insisted on making this report. I came back the next day and I made this report. And I can give you all the incident number of this report. There was some follow-up, but to this day, I have no idea what happened to our case. And I bring this up to illustrate how difficult it is for us to make a police report. I speak English. I have the time and professional support to take time out to go stand for hours, you know, in front of the police station. And I know my rights. But what about people in our community who may not speak English, who may not have the time to go and make this report? And I hear you, you know, I hear that you're urging people to make these reports, but I also think that you should, well, I also want to ask, you know, how are you making this process easier and more respectful for people in our community? And just secondly, I did want to note that violence is more than physical violence. Unemployment rates here have disproportionately affected Asian Americans in New York City. You know, our population of communities facing a variety of stresses from unemployment to food insecurity. How is this committee working to ensure access to city resources for our community? Thank you.
Thank you. Elaine, I fully agree with you and share your pain. May I ask what precinct is that? Was that? Which local precinct was that?
This was in Jackson Heights, Queens. Oh. I think it's 115th precinct.
Okay, sure. Well, I guess the short answer to you is that we hear you, we feel you, and so why don't you on the what do you call it, on the chat, just send me your name and your contact information, and we'll talk further to see how we together will be able to fight for some of the rights that has been long overdue to us. So yeah, send me the info and I will call you next week to further discuss the issue. Any other?
Well, the chat is, there's no chat function in this. Please put it in the Q&A.
Sure. I just want to say something that it's, I mean, I fully hear you, and I, you know, the point that you're making about the fact that you have resources that others don't, and notwithstanding those resources, you still have to go through this experience. You haven't gotten any resolution. I would just, again, I want to encourage you to follow through with what Paul just said, but I also just want to make sure that these are exactly the incidents that we need to bring to our elected officials and make sure that we make them accountable so that they can hold the police department accountable. And I'm talking about all of our elected officials at the local level, at the state level, and even at the federal level, right? Because this is the kind of thing that's for. And someone has to respond to this. And I think our best recourse is to make sure and to keep the pressure up to our elected officials to make sure that they are holding, in this case, the NYPD accountable for making sure that they're following up and that they're taking these things very seriously and not just brushing them off, because what you described is absolutely unacceptable. And again, I really take your point that folks who don't have the kind of language access that you have in the time, I can't even begin to imagine how excluded, how silenced they must feel. So I appreciate you bringing this up, and I want to encourage all of us to make sure that we follow up and that we make sure that something happens and that this case is resolved. So thank you.
May I?
Yes, Danny.
We are so grateful to have you report that incident, but we have to learn the system. Actually, I'm a 72nd Precinct Council member. You have to wait to get through that thing.
every precinct, they have a council meeting for certain day every month. You could go there to talk to the CO. The commander officer, they will have there to listen to your story. Beside that, you could go to the website and search NCO officer. That officer is assigned to that neighborhood where the incident happened. These two things will be guide you directly to whoever can handle your issue. Furthermore, if that issue hasn't been heard, you could went to the meeting talking to community council member. They will follow up that for you too. I'm sure Paul will follow up helping you this matter also, because that's happened in Queens. Paul will have a lot of relationship right there. Keep it going. That's a good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I guess it's a hard fought effort that we have to be doing consistently. So hoping that I will have the opportunity to work with you to make sure that we could eliminate situations like this. Yes, you could talk to the, you could go to the evening meeting of their monthly evening meeting, but that shouldn't be the case when the fact that they should be really providing protection to all members of the society. Thank you very much. The next one, Rex Chang. Rex. Zheng, Z-H-E-N-G.
Rex Zheng， 你现在可以关掉静音，开始发言。
Rex Zheng， 我刚才已经发言过了。
Anybody else? I think she did too. I think we call her. Anybody from this Zoom that would like? I think I saw one of the board member, Vic, that was up on the screen for a few seconds. Victor, do you want to say anything or add anything, or are you still here? Any other?
你好。
Yeah, 请讲。
我是2个孩子的妈妈，就是我想要通过这次发言来表达一下我的感受，就是对于近期许多华人频繁受到袭击和这些暴力伤害，就是让我心里感到非常的惶恐，所以说现在走在街上都感觉真的是很害怕，没有安全感。就是通过这次的发生呢，就是让社区和政府知道我们的感受，真的能够停止种族歧视，让那些暴徒绳之以法。谢谢。
Thank you.
Hi, I'm mother of 2 children, and I just want to say I recently of the increase of the attack and case report, I feel scared and unsafe on the street, so I just
需要耶稣，人人都需要耶稣，知道吗？只有主能够拯救这世界，太混乱了，外面好多看到这都是黑人，都是黑人，黑人当道，所以下面黑人的百姓都在下面造反，他有权利啊，都是黑人当道，黑人都搞那个生存集团。那个平等法案都是黑人的鬼谋诡计。
Thank you. Yeah, please continue, Rachel. You finished the last.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody else from the? Anybody else from the? Yes.
Hello. 你好。我曾经呢在地铁上面不是我的亲身经历，但是我是看见有一个人，我想问问你们。就是如果你们遇到这样的事情，你们有什么就是建议给我们的？我曾经在地铁上面呢，就是当时还是疫情比较严重的时期，但是上下班高峰期人流比较多，然后呢，一个黑人的前面呢站了一个中国人，然后他就跟那位中国人说：“离我远点，中国人。”然后呢， 那个中国人呢，然后他就远离他了。OK， 但是地铁到处都是6尺的距离，那个黑人也说了6尺的距离。面对这样的事情，我想知道你们是怎样，你们是有什么建议？是建议我们走开呢，还是报警？因为报警来讲的话呢，这件事情，就像刚刚怡令讲的，他会英文，他已经觉得去报告一个事情是这么困难的。然后呢，一些不会的，等报警来了，不会讲。然后呢，你们有什么除了就是建议我们报警，还有就是 report 这些 case 上去，还有什么好的建议？就是比如说就这样小的事情，有什么好的建议吗？
Well, this is not my experience, but just something I saw from the subway station. Well, one Chinese was standing in the subway car, and there is another one non-Chinese. While talking to him, saying that stay away from me. But you know, in the subway car, there's a full of people over there. So, what do you think I should do? What should I do at that moment besides call 911 or report the incidents? And is there any other suggestion for that?
Thank you for your question. So I guess the situation in life is a bit trickier than what it is. So I guess my suggestion, I hope the other members could also weigh in. In a situation like this in a subway car, so probably the first thing to do is to make sure that yourself is fully protected. So instead of running into a confrontation, I think you should really get away from the situation. Someone asked the question at the beginning of the meeting where the NYPD will begin accepting a police report through online. So we are hoping that in a situation like this, you walk away from the situation. But when you go home, when you have your family members that are able to report the crime online, make sure you do that because in a situation like this, by the time you call the 911, the cars are gone and the person will be gone. So it will be very difficult to really catch a person. But at the same time, if we are able to afterward inform the NYPD through the online system, at least they have the data that indicating that things are really happening throughout the city, and hoping that they will be able to really assign appropriate police force based on the locations that the reporting are indicating. So it's important to make the report. I understand at this moment it's difficult. So I'm hoping that within the very short period of time, we are allowed to really make the report online, and so this way we could protect ourselves at the same time to really inform the NYPD where the locations might be for the crimes. Anybody else want to add in?
I think when the incident like that, I believe it's tough. Yeah, because when you call 911, I don't think it's help because in the subway ride, it's a lot of people. But if you speak English, you understand what he say. You know, you could say it back. You know, you can stay away from me. It doesn't mean I have to stay away from you. So if you know, in that situation, you have to stay tough. You know, for me, I have to stay tough. But I know how it feels. It's a very tough situation. But for men like that, you got to be ready for a fight. At least you got to defend yourself. But after that, of course, you know, you have a lot of witnesses around the car. They can think, hey, you're not picking it. You are the one who have to pick in someone. So I think you have to be stand tough. That's what I said.
OK， 还有，我是想说，这件事情，我想知道是警察局那边是什么界定这件事情呢？他到处都是OK， 比如说我报警了，然后但是他也是到处都是6尺的距离啊。警察局来接手 report 这件事情，那他们是怎么样去界定这件事情的呢？
哎呀，警察不会来了。
他如果没有发生意外或者打架或者怎么样，他不会有做什么东西。但是这个情况，
对呀，对呀，就是没有受到任何的伤害。那是警察局是拿什么去界定这个事情？我就想知道是什么样的 case 报警，然后警察局才能接受。
警察也没有每一天每一分钟都有个电话，哎，是这样有一点事情，但是没有发生任何的伤害，警察都不会效率或者 make arrest 就捉人这样做法。所以呢，你在这个情况下呢，你自己要保护到自己。如果你会英文，你要回他；如果你不会英文，你就找开一些，就是这么没办法。
Yeah, thank you. So I guess sometimes the police, their hands are tied also because they could only execute whatever the law would entitle them to do, and sometimes with the free speech and with the New York State the bond reform. So basically, it's really a tough situation for our community. But however, sometimes we see a lot of things happening that are created by the youth population under 15, 16, or even 14 and 13. And unfortunately, by the law and guideline, not much the police will be able to do to the minors. So it's really a tough situation. We fully agree with that.
好，谢谢你的提问。那我个人建议，如果你在地铁上面发生这种情况的话，那首先是希望你要照顾好自身的安全。那刚刚之前也有提到过，就是有一个线上可以举报的系统。那我希望你就是到家之后可以举报这个案子，让警察知道。那同时在举报的时候，也让警察知道有这个案子的发生，有这个数据的存在。
Thank you for the question. Again, because we are limited by the number of participants that are able to join us through the original Zoom, and we have about 10, 12 participants from our own Zoom that they'll be raising their hands. So please stay with us, and we will try to direct some of their questions. Please stay with us. Yes. Yes, please go ahead.
大家好，是这样子的，我对刚才那个关于枪支的问题，我想加一个问题，就是我不知道我们除了携带枪支在手上，因为枪支其实是很难得的，再加上它很危险，个人是不大建议像我们这些民众去携带这个枪支了。那我的意思是说，如果遇到危险的话，那我们携带什么东西在身上是比较那个合法的，如果遇到危险的话，可以自卫的。这是我的问题，谢谢。
Okay, I just want to ask when we are in danger, is there anything we can carry to protect ourselves?
No.
No. Even the pepper spray?
No. Pepper spray is not legal in New York City now. You can order in Amazon a long time ago, but they reject it in the New York City. Pennsylvania maybe. That's a tough.
没有，很抱歉，我们这边没有。
Oh, but in New York City, you allowed to use the stick. The stick with I believe is around 15 inch or 16 inch. But yes, I don't know what that it's the one removable thing stick. So that's the only thing you have.
那目前来说，防狼通路在纽约已经实现了。那我唯一是大家可以来一个比较是来保护自己。对的，谢谢。
哦，我觉得 alcohol 都可以啊，你洗手的 alcohol， 这个是这个是 75 这个
应该也是可以保护自己。
也酒精我都带了，我都防了。
I'm hoping the original Zoom participants are able to hear our second Zoom. Anthony, have you been able to hear our other Zoom? No, he can't. Jeremy just took it. They can't. Okay, fine. All right, next question. Again, I just want to add that, yes, you really need to protect yourself. In the long run, learning self-defense of carrying whatever weapons that you think might be appropriate would be a good thing. But again, that will be a long run. For the meantime, before that you are able to protect yourself with the self-defense, I would still suggest that try to get away from the situation as much as possible, because nothing is more important than your life and your safety. Again, we are hoping that within a very short period of time, that you will be allowed to report those crimes online, so that you escape from danger, but at the same time, you are providing the information to the NYPD. I think that would be the temporary solution for whatever situation that we are encountering at this moment. Next question, please. Answer, yeah.
在现在我只能建议大家，保护好自身的安全是第一重要的。那同时的也要举报给警察局的，举报给警局。那以后会有可以合法携带什么武器的话，那这个就要以后才可以慢慢的知道。谢谢大家。
Yes, next one.
，Hello，我叫 Connie， 我想问一下，关于是现在这个情况，我个人而言，就是像我们疫情的话，不是非常的担心，因为很多人都已经打了疫苗。可是呢，我们发现我们最担心的是，这些很多不单单是黑人，其实有些黑人也是非常好的，不全是黑人哈。我自己的观点，因为我有些朋友也是黑人，其他国家的人他们也会对我们歧视很严重。那我最近的话，前几个月收到的就是在我们住的附近一个公园里，我带着2个小孩，刚好买了东西，我们要回到车上，然后经过那个公园的时候，有一对情侣在那里。刚开始我以为他们是抱在一起而已，然后快靠近的时候，他们居然2个人在那里做那个事情，是没有穿裤子的。可是我就马上带着2个小孩转头了。当时他们是连裤子都没穿，2个人跟着跑过来，就在那里大叫，意思就是你们这些愚蠢的中国人，快滚回中国，追着来。当时2个小孩就是痛哭了，一直到我们因为离开的距离也蛮远的，差不多有半条街吧，我就马上把他们带上车。上车之后，他们还是拿地上的垃圾扔在我的车上。当时我的小孩是非常哭得很厉害。以前我们是经常看到很多警察在巡逻的，可是疫情开始，我发现很难再看到一个警察了。所以我就想问一下，之前有通告说裁了很多警察，这是真的吗？我觉得这样对我们市民非常的不安全。
Okay, I was in the park with my kids. I just finished shopping and want to get into my car, but suddenly in the park, I saw a couple and having an inappropriate conduct, and all of a sudden they cursed us. And right now, I know that during the pandemic, there's a lot of people, a lot of police officers have been laid off. So if that's the case, then there will be not enough people to do the patrol thing. Let's ask if it is true that there are so many police officers that have been laid off, and that means that we do not have enough protections.
I have been involved with different NYPD meetings. It is my understanding that there has not been any layoff of the police officers. In fact, since the Atlanta shooting last week or 10 days ago, we have seen an increase of police presence in the 72, 66, 61, and 62, or even 68 precincts. So as far as the safety of our community, I think we are a little bit better before the shooting. But however, based on our experience, they can assign a limited number of police officers to our community. However, we need to know how long would that last, and usually that would not last as long as we would like. So on one hand, we should feel good that no police layoff, and that a lot more of them are really into the broken Chinese communities. We are just hoping that they will continue to stay with us until we are able to eliminate the threats that are targeting our community.
Hello， 你好，我也想讲一些哈，关乎最近我们在华联地区，特别是在布鲁克林这一带，所发生了许多的这样不好的事情。我是觉得，当我们遇到这样凶杀的时候，我们该前一段不是有一个人案，我看见有几个男人就是将人杀死了，他逃掉了。但是呢，我也不懂得英文，我也不会懂得报警。但是呢，我自己都怕了。在这样情形之下，我觉得真的感到深深的不安。我们曾经来到美国的医院，我们知道美国是全世界最强大的国家，也是最文明、最自由的，那也是最安全的，因为它是民主的灯塔。那今天这样的情形，我看了真的很害怕，因为华人今天在这个地方，我们觉得不但被歧视，好像也觉得被欺凌。这是不是说黑人都是不好？就像刚才有一个我们同胞所讲的，人当中有各种各色的，但是呢，就是有一部分人他们做了这样不法的事，但是我们都盼望有更多的警察在我们当中，他是人民的卫士，他来保护各个地方人民能够安全，能够自由的生活，自由的工作，自由的学习。我们不但爱我们的中国，我们也爱美国，因为一个是生我们的地方，一个是养我们的地方。我们在美国就是美国人，我们要爱这个国家，也要拥护美国的宪法，也爱警察。我就讲这里。
好，那我最近也参加了很多警局的会议。那据我所知，目前据我所知，目前没有警员有被裁员，而且近期因为人才的枪击案件，那因为这个案件也加强了很多警员。那虽然在警力上面我们有加强，那也是希望大家可以团结一致，遇到问题的话一定要举报，一定要发声，谢谢。
Okay, due to the language problem, I feel unsafe living here right now because of so many attacks happened around us. But I think that United States is the greatest country. We live here, we choose to come here, we choose to live here because we think that it's a greatest country and we are part of it. So I want to say that everyone should stay together, look up each other, and then speak out any unfair issues need to speak up. And we also hope that the police officer can help us to, get all this violence to be zero violence area. Thank you.
Well, I just hope that not everything will remain the same forever. So we are hoping that this is really a temporary situation, and hoping by working together and with the support of many of the people that are supporting our Asian community, that we shall overcome that one day soon, hopefully. Thank you very much.
那我也希望以后有这些事情会有改变，因为我希望这只是暂时性的事情发生的事情。那希望大家就是还是可以一定要团结一致，一定要发声，谢谢。
警官人员你们好，我是八大道的居民。曾经呢，我在加油站加油的时候，被抢先了，然后还被吆喝到 Go back China， 然后我就觉得这个是非常有种族歧视的嘛。然后呢，还有一件事情呢是 在我家附近扫街地方停车的那个地方呢，被那个事故巴士抢先停那个车位，然后还被也是曾经遇到被说 go back to China， 然后我就回复了一句话，我说 I'm planning， 然后呢，这个校车的司机呢，他就马上打电话回去学校说，有中国人拍了这部校车的照片，然后呢，他还说 planning to China。然后我就感觉这个事件呢，对我们中国人就是有一种种族歧视嘛，不希望这种事情继续发生嘛，希望能够警官能够多在八大道这边附近多巡逻，就是希望能够以后不要类似这样子的事情再发生，谢谢。
Thank you.
I am a resident at the 8th Avenue, and I got robbed and a purse at the gas station. And there's one time I tried to park my car, but there's a school bus driver tried to park at the same spot. And he also cursed me and asked me to go back to China. I just talked back. But at the same time, he just took a picture and called back to his school and then talk to his colleague and saying that there's a lady just tried to yell at me. And then I hope that the police officer can pay attention to all of these and increase the patrol and make our community more safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any comments from next question? Thank you.
I think in this situation it's tough, but you know, because when a school bus driver, you're not supposed to park that spot and cursing you and go back to China. This is unacceptable. So when you yelling back at him, I think it's right. But when he take a picture and saying things and report it to maybe a precinct or maybe his unit, which is wrong. But you have to stand up and you have to call 911 in that situation. And you have to take his picture. You take out the phone and read what he's saying, and you know, put it on Facebook and make him famous. That's what we do.
然后我觉得在这种情况下，虽然是很困难的，但是我觉得在同时你应该要取证，照下他这个司机的样子，保护好自己，然后举报给警局。那现在也可以就是想的话，你也可以把它 po 在网上面，让大家都知道这件事情。谢谢。
I just want to say or want to ask whether that is legal or not. Every time when someone tells you to go back to China, you ask them for the money to buy the ticket. I don't know whether there is some legality on that. Yes, next question, please.
Another thing about that.
Next question. Do we have any questions?
I feel that like another way to prove in our community is our national holiday, the Chinese New Year, which is a great like compared to now, like if you go into school, it's up to your own rights. Like if you want to take the day off, it's not like a national holiday. Unlike the Jewish, they have it as a national holiday on their New Year's, and everybody's off. I think if that would have impact now, would beneficial if it goes through like everybody can take the day off, it's not just the Chinese community, then it will beneficial the effects. You can change how people is looking at towards the society. It gives the reputation that we're consideration of this population
now. Anyone want to answer that?
I mean, I generally tend to, I think that speaks to the issue that I brought up earlier, which is that part of having this conversation is to look at the structural and systemic ways that we can improve. and then we can eliminate racism. And I agree with you. I think giving more, bringing more attention to curricula that are ethnically based, that are culturally relevant, is one way of doing it. And I think your suggestion about making maybe the Chinese New Year a holiday where all kids get to take off nationally, I think that's another suggestion. So I generally tend to agree with you that part of having this conversation about racism and white supremacy is to like look at systemically and structurally what are the things that we can do to address these issues. So I really support your idea.
我是想说的话，就是除了刚才我们所说的这些一些意见，还有就是可不可以能够增加一下我们的亚裔的关注度，就是把这个我们的中国新年，或者说我们是这个华裔的一个大的节日，设定为一个全国法定的节日，让所有人都知道亚裔的整一个受关注的程度能够加大，让所有人都知道我们亚裔的这些民众啊。那我当然还要回到刚才的议题，就是说增加教育方面的资源，让更多的人受到关注亚裔的教育，这样才能让整一个我们的种族能够提升一下我们的自信和自尊心。谢谢。
Thank you. Next question.
Ờ, 你好，主持人你们好，就是刚刚也有听到一些妈妈们说，就是说一些种族的问题，然后就说也希望，就说能不能在我们华人的社区多就是说增加一些警力，就是说来保护华人的安全，就是说让每一位公民都享有公平的警力保护，而不是说只是保护有钱人啊这样子。然后就说希望就说能改变正确的宣传口径，就说不要说宣传每一个人就都是一样的这样子，就是说不要去以貌取人这样子。对，然后就说对这种种族歧视，就是说就是说。说法就是我们不一样，不是说我们不一样，我们所以我不好意思，是说我们都一样，所以我不歧视你的说法，就说那就等于说是因为你和我一样的，所以我才不歧视你，那是不是就意味着你如果和我不一样，你比我弱，那我就可以正大光明的去欺负你、歧视你了吗？就是我觉得我们还是要不要去以貌取人啊。要以德服人这样子，就说也是因为我们也爱美国，所以说也爱每一位警察，因为也知道在疫情期间，每一位警察跟也都是很不容易的嘛，所以说也希望就说这种暴力的事情，也希望大家能一起的团结起来，这是我的想法，谢谢。
As mentioned earlier, I also like to wish to increase the number of. And I also hope that discrimination will end. And I also want to thank for the police that protect us during the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question.
Hello， 你好，我刚刚讲过了，没听到是不是？
喂，你好。
As I mentioned earlier, I also like to wish to increase the number of policing force and the number of patrols. And I also hope discrimination will end. And I also like to thank for the police that they protected us during the pandemic. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you.
Hello， 你好。你好，我是871的单身的母亲。我是这样子的，我呢就是说有一次带小孩子去坐地铁，因为我不太懂坐，然后呢就去问，就是说皮肤是黑色的黑亚青人大概，然后呢我去问他，他连理都不理，直接就走开了，还比中指对着我跟小孩，我就觉得我受到非常重的严视，小孩子还这么小，你这么不礼貌，你可以说 I don't know 或者怎么样，你走开你都可以，你为什么还要这么歧视我跟孩子？孩子还这么小，他受不了你们美国这样子。但是我也知道警察那时候都很忙，也都知道现在疫情期间警察你们都很尽力的在帮着我们。可是现在我们中国人的心真的是已经受到很严重的受伤了。我希望你们警察能不能多关注我们亚青，不要只是嘴上说没有行动，不能像黑人那种他们一怎么样子，你们全是帮着他们，不帮着我们，这是我的观点。希望你们警察能够解决一下这个问题，谢谢。
I'm a single mother. The other day I was taking subway with my kids, but I'm not sure my direction. That's why I asked one person who is non-Asian, and he doesn't look at me but just showing his middle fingers and curse me a lot. I really feel very upset about this, and with my kids, especially in front of my kids, doing such an inappropriate conduct. I really hope that the police officer can help us. Help us not just means to listen. That's it. When you report, I just take it down. I really need to see the action. How these people can get their legal consequence. That's it. Thank you.
Anyone? So I guess many people mentioned that United States of America is really a melting pot, and that really divides all the immigrants, and that the fact that they offer freedom to everyone is one of the reasons that are attracting so many people coming into the United States. So for the same token, the excessive freedom sometimes could really being utilized wrongly. So we are just hoping that one day with our next generation, they will be able to really incorporate more diversity within the New York, within the lesson plans that we're implementing to the public school, and hoping that by learning and sharing everyone and respecting everyone's culture, we'll be able to do that. But unfortunately, with the freedom that the United States emphasizing, sometimes the police hands are tied as far as making the arrest or making any further actions. That is very unfortunate. But again, we will convey your message to the local precincts as well as to the NYPD headquarters.
好，之前很多人也有提到说，美国是一个多元化的国家，那大家都是为了这些自由来到美国，都是为了更好，为了下一代更好的生活。那虽然有一些自由的言论被不适当的用到，那还是希望大家可以遇到这种事情的时候，可以发声保护好自己。还是同样的要 report 给举报给警局，让社区知道我们不是沉默的，我们可以发言，勇敢发言。谢谢。
Thank you for your comments. Next question.
Hello. 我叫 Marvin， 我也想在这里说两句。 我是一个福州人，我呢在到来美国已经有10几年了。我们身边的很多的朋友啊，就是呢多多少少都受到的种族的歧视，特别是黑人对我们的歧视。我自己本人的经历就是呢，我有2次在路上走的时候，突然就被黑人就这样给我推到了旁边，就是没有预警的，突然从后面冲上来就要推到旁边。那我没办法，只能看一下，只能慢慢走掉了，没办法。还有呢，我又是也被那个一个黑人跟西班牙人5、6个人围过来抢劫，一抢1分钟之内就抢完就跑了。然后呢，我朋友很多的，我亲戚朋友还有包括那个郑勇，这个刚刚走掉的这个发的那个郑勇这个英雄，他其实有这么一个朋友。所以说我这个身边的很多人啊，都在美国多多少少受到歧视，而这个歧视这种种族歧视，包括黑人其实也受到了很多的歧视。但我很奇怪，为什么黑人在受到种族歧视的同时呢，又对很多时候对我们亚裔呢又歧视的非常的厉害，真的是非常厉害。我不是说针对黑人，因为黑人比如说他只要1%或1,000,000,000的人在对我们种族歧视的话，我们就觉得很受伤害。所以说我在这里呢，就是呢，因为其实身边的80%、90%应该都有受到这种的言语上的生理上的歧视。我觉得这种现象，如果当然依靠警察报警的话，我觉得根本是不能解决问题的。所以说我建议的话，我们的社区的一些立法者，还有的话一些能够发声的那些人的话，可不可以从这个教育方面，从思想方面，还有从制度方面、法律方面的话，加大这种的力度，去消除这种的思想的隔阂，去减少这种歧视的发生。你比如说像我们很多的话家庭啊，有的时候就是奇怪了，人家还有人大白天都在家里，他就也爬进来偷盗抢劫，真的是这个太过分了。所以说，而且的话，那些人呐，那个犯罪人呐，不止1次2次的被关进监牢里面，有些4次5次，像这次郑勇被杀的那个郑勇，对他下的那个罪犯有4次的被捕的记录，他为什么还会在社区逍遥法外呢？我真的很搞不懂，这是到底原因出在什么地方？这些人真的是好像在去监狱的话，像在过家家一样，出来他进去好像就在修养，知道吗？他不是在教育，他叫修养，修养一段时间又出来犯法。所以说从这些方面来讲的话，真的是当他依靠警察的没用，报警了，警察把他抓进去，第2天他又回来了，又出来了，而且好像他没有事情的一样。所以说我总觉得这个事情非常严重，包括就是我们所有的我们亚洲的面孔啊，我总想真的是包括很多那些的高层上的那些亚裔的话，我想多多少少都会受到种族歧视。所以说我真的在这里很呼吁的话，真的应该从根本上去消除这种的歧视。好，谢谢你们。
Thank you. Can you just summarize it briefly?
Okay, actually I'm from Fuzhou, and actually I have been living in the United States for more than 10 years. And well, not just me, around me, there's a lot of people have been experienced a lot of hate crime. For example, the African American unexpectedly push me and get robbed, and also there's a lot of people get robbed and suffer from discrimination. I really want to know why these people, they already put into the jail and then they release out and still doing the same thing, and time and time again, and just have the discrimination and have the hate crime on our Asian people. I just want to know why they can still doing that.
Well, I guess sometimes when we are talking about hate crimes, basically, I think could be in a situation where someone hates you because of your background, ethnic background. But there are also situations where they are robbing you because of the economic situations, that they know you have more money or that you possess more valuable
than they do, and that is one of the reasons that the Asians are being targeted for robbery and things of that nature. I fully share your concern because our agency has been getting reports from the community almost on a daily basis. But unfortunately, sometimes with the NYPD, the police department, they are really doing whatever they could based on the laws that are allowing them to do. For example, about 2 years ago with the bail reform, basically anyone commits a crime, they are being put in jail. They could be released immediately because with the bail reform, actually the judge could not really ask them for any money to post the bond, and as a result, they will get released almost immediately. And I understand that is also a situation where sometimes the NYPD, the police, doesn't even want to make the arrest because they also know that before they're able to complete the paperwork, the subject might be being let out on the street already. So it's really a situation that involving a partition elected officials, especially within the state of New York. So our agency and hopefully working with everyone within the community will be able to really address that. The bail reform needs to be modified as soon as possible so that people that deserve to be placed in jail, they would not be released, almost immediately before the police could finish their paperwork. Anybody else that want to add? Yes. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, hi everyone. I just want to share because I'm a UPK teacher and also I am a parent of a 2 years old, and I want to share my personal experience because I become a UPK teacher. I was a substitute teacher for charter school, international school, and I just want to share my personal experience because one day I was being a substitute teacher at a charter school, and I was told by a student that, oh, go back to your country. And then I told the students that also my country too. And then after the class, I also reported to the counselor, but the counselor told me that just ignore him, So the major concern is like, how can the DOE system could make sure our children safe and our children not bullied physically or language, So that's my major concern. Because I'm adult and also speaking English, I was like harassed, was encountered Asian crime in school because that was happening in school as well.
OK， 我是一位我们的学校的老师啊。有一天呢，我们的学生呢就告诉我说，有人跟他讲，叫他就是回到你的国家去。然后我作为老师，我就叫他说，让他说这也是我的国家。那但是面对这种事情呢，我很想知道到底我们的教育系统会有什么样的方式来处理这种问题，希望能够解决掉整一个欺凌的问题。
So first of all, I'm so sorry to hear that, and I hear it in your voice how distressing and how upsetting it is. And again, I think for me, it all goes back to our institutions, in this case, the DOE, really handling and dealing with not just the question of white supremacy, but also how do we as institutions undo ourselves from racism, right? And I think, this is the moment. I think this is the moment where we have to keep the pressure on and make sure that all of our institutions are being intentional about eradicating racism, white supremacy, and that we're holding people accountable. And again, in this case, our institutions around doing the hard work of confronting the historic, structural, and systemic racism that's been part of this country. Because it's not okay to just wave things off. It's just not, we're not there anymore. I think You know, we're past the time where we should just kind of walk away from situations. I think this is what you're telling me is and what I'm hearing from you is very distressing, because it's an institution telling you to just sweep it under the rug. And in this day and age, with everything that's happening, we cannot tolerate that anymore. And we have to keep the pressure on so that we're confronting bias and hate and racism in a very direct way. So what I would encourage you to do is to continue. You know, thank you for coming here to voice your experiences. And I think I would encourage you to make sure that that you talk to your supervisor, that you talk to the people in your school, and that you make sure that they hear you. And again, I think we all have to fight together to make sure that the structures that are in place and the institutions that are in place really are receptive and willing to tackle racism, white supremacy, discrimination in a very intentional way.
好，我在此只是想说，那我想希望借这次这个机会呢，给到各方面的机构、各方面的政府言论的压力，由来改变这个现状。那这个事情是完全不对的，是不能接受的。那希望言论的压力可以借此改变这种现状。谢谢。
Right, thank you very much. I think we have 2 more questions. Thank you for your patience. The next one. Okay, next question.
大家你好，是这样子的，最近确实发生了很多种族歧视的事情哈，就比如说上个星期，才9点半，我准备去倒垃圾，有个黑人就闯进来。 就因为我刚好在2楼想要倒垃圾，他在1楼从一个角落里面窜出来，所以说让我们感到不安。八大道的社区安全现在真的是很不安全。然后呢，就是还有在我去接小孩子下课的时候，经过因为在14大道，在13大道犹太人区的时候，小孩子7、8岁。 小孩子，因为离我们这边八大道比较远，我是骑着自行车过去的，然后带着我女儿的 scooter 放在我自行车上面，然后那个小孩子才7、8岁，他就对着我说：“你是不是偷了 scooter？” 这样子，然后我就听了很奇怪，然后我就骑走了。我觉得这个是不是现在的美国文化会教育方面是不是也出现了问题呢？ 一些小孩子7、8岁也对我们有一种歧视的态度，是对人呢还是对事呢？我觉得这是一个很大的问题，还有社区的安全。就去年夏天去Dunkin' Donuts 的时候也是，我们在门口外面排队，然后他们里面的人出来一个白人，然后就直接从我的那个手臂这里撞过去，还骂了我一句这样子。我就是跟大家分享一下最近我遇到的这3件事情，谢谢。
Recently, there's a lot of racial discrimination, and one day I was accused of robbery of a schooler. And I also, one day I was in a Dunkin' Donuts and there's a man just coming at me, screaming at me, saying discrimination things. So I just want to share this experience with everyone.
Okay, yeah, again, we understand your concern, and we are really into a fact-finding mission, hoping that we are able to obtain your input so that we are able to better address our problem and concerns. definitely we will be talking with the local policing as well as the NYPD Asian crime task force to see what else that they're able to do. But the good thing is that I met with them this afternoon, and even the commander of the Asian task force, Asian crime task force is Chinese, who used to be the 7-2 captain. So we look forward to working with him to ensure the safety of Sunset Park and the borough of Brooklyn.
感谢你的分享其实呢，我们也知道最近有非常多这样子的例子啦，就是都是关于这个反亚裔的仇恨的这些案子。那今天下午呢，我也跟这个专案小组的一些探员啊，还有一些领导呢谈过话，希望我们可以就着彼此的交流呢，能够进一步的帮助大家保护这个社区。谢谢。
Thank you. I think we have our last question.
Hello， 你好，警官。我的问题是说，我的身份被人盗用了，然后这个犯罪人申请了绿卡，然后银行我打过银行说这个案件他已经帮我查清楚了，这个是犯罪人申请的。我向警方报警，警方但是需要银行的 affidavit 就是宣誓书，然后我打银行里面电话跟他说警察需要 affidavit 宣誓书，但是他们寄给我的那个表格，他说这个表格就可以报警了，但是我又去了警察局，警察局说这个表格不能报警，不能做 report， 那我现在要怎么处理
This is more of an ID theft situation. So what I suggest you do is that if you could write down our phone number, Rachel, you could give us a phone number. She could contact us tomorrow, and we will work with her between the police and the local.
这是一个身份盗用的问题。那现在我提供一个号码给你，是我们华人协会专门会有这样子的负责人负责这方面的资讯。麻烦您记下电话。
OK， 我拿一把笔。
Yeah, I think she should be.
好了。OK， 我笔拿了。
718-438-0008，然后您说你可以跟接电话的人说你是需要帮忙这个身份盗用问题的，然后我们
等一下，你再说一遍
718-438-0008。
对，然后就是说
你直接说你是需要帮助这个身份盗用的问题，到时候会有人转接给专门的同事帮您负责安排跟进。
OK， 好的，谢谢。
谢谢。
I think that's the last question. Any more questions? All right. Yes. No. All right. So I guess once we have our CP7 Asian Affairs Committee, I really thank every one of you. The original Zoom, the CP7 Zoom, as well as our own agency Zoom. I know everyone has has a long day, and that you are staying with us and supporting our efforts. I think this is something that we're very happy about, and we just hope that we look forward to be working with the Asian community and with all other community within the borough of Brooklyn, and hoping that by working together we are able to eliminate the problem that we have been talking about. Again, there's a long history of anti-Asian, and sometimes people just hate you because of the background, and sometimes people rob you because of the economic situations, and sometimes they complain about NYPD that they should do more. But unfortunately, only so much can be done by the community, and sometimes the NYPD, their enforcement actions are really dictated by the state law. So sometimes we need to work with the police, also with the New York State legislature, to see how we are able to amend bills that would be better supporting and protecting our community. So before I end, Any final comments that you want to say?
Sure. So Paul, thank you, and thank everyone who came to this meeting. Again, I'm so sorry that we're meeting under these circumstances. I think, one of the commitments that I want to make, and I'm sure Paul joined me in just assuring you that we're going to continue to stand together to hold our elected officials accountable. I think I'm reminded that there are a whole bunch of other solutions that we can explore. Maybe raising to bring in experts to help de-escalate attacks. Maybe also, finding funding to teach ways of having people protect themselves. And really, I think I want to just echo some of the other comments earlier, particularly from the Assembly member. We have to stay on top of this by calling 911 and 311, particularly in cases of emergency. 911. I really want to encourage you to continue to do that, to try to de-escalate as much as possible, to keep yourself safe. And again, I think we're all in this together. And I agree with Paul. We're hoping for a brighter future for all of us. So hang in there. Thank you.
Tony, you want to say? I just hope everyone will unite together and stand up when everything is happening to you. We hope to see you in the community. Okay, thank you very much. I know anybody. I know Pat is on the regional CP7 Zoom. Anything you want to add? Or anybody from the original CP7 Zoom? Cindy? Yeah, please.
Yeah, hi. So my name is Cindy, and I'm sorry I wasn't here right at the beginning of the meeting, but I just want to say how disheartened I am to hear, it's brought tears to my eyes to hear all of these stories of people they don't even in many cases know you and are saying very hateful and racist things, and words hurt, and it hurts all of us. And you are our neighbors and bring so much to this city in so many ways and to our community. And so I just want to say, I want to do what I can to, and I think all of us on the community board feel this way, to support the Asian American community in the best way we can. And we are just so very sorry about the circumstances that so many of you have faced and provided testimony to today. And so we are going to do our best. And I thank you for having the courage to come on and share your stories. I know that's not an easy thing to do, not at all. And then I also hope that we can lift up more stories about what like each and every one of you are contributing, not only to Sunset Park and to the community board district, but to our entire city. Some of this I think is just raising awareness, and I hope I can help do that, as well as others on the community board. So thank you for having the courage. I'm terribly sorry about the tragedy, not just of this past week, but that many of you have encountered within the past year and then throughout history, due to sort of racist sentiments and policies. And so I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cindy. We have Jimmy. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Thank you for hosting this meeting. Yes, it's heartbreaking to hear all the stories from all of you, and I do want to, we appreciate all the support from allies, try to, stand in solidarity and unity with AAPI communities. Yes, there are a lot of things that we as individual can do. not only the API community, but also our allies. So Congresswoman Grace Mann is in trying to push, Resolution 151 to denounce, hate and racism against API community. So there are some legislations in like congressional level try to, bring these perpetrators into account and then provide more support to, hate crime task force to investigate all the, hate crime happening right now nationwide against API communities. So, we definitely, as all of us should support all these, legislations to protect API community. So the other thing is I do see like, right now, a lot of throughout the city, there are some school communities, have a lot of awareness things going on. So, just today, I saw a school in Bronx, even though it's less than 10%, Asian student in the school, but then the school community held a unity rally, to bring all students together to have a conversation and then bring, awareness to this hate and racism. So people, I think that's something like for everyone here tonight. So that's something you can go and talk to your school and then, organize something. It's the time to, parents, and communities should all organize together partner together with the school to bring more awareness, so to avoid bullying, or other, incidents in the school. So that's one, best way to do it. So, okay, I want to briefly translate what I just said. So 我们刚刚听了这么众多的这些刚刚所有人分享的经验，所以呢现在呢国会议员那个孟昭文还有其他的亚裔的议员在国会呢想推动就是反亚裔歧视法案，这些法案呢有一些在 change.org 上面有 petition， 我们应该要去支持，因为只有通过这些法案给执法人员就是调查所有的这些仇恨案件，这样的话我们亚裔社区才会更加的安全 ，right？ 另外呢，就是刚刚很多家长分享那些刚刚的那些经验，有一些事情的话，作为家长我们也可以做的，就好像今天我刚看到在 Bronx 有个学校，虽然亚裔学生在那个学校是少数的 ，right？ 但是整个学校它也有一个rally， 就说去支持亚裔学生，然后讲关于这个歧视的问题。所以作为家长们，如果最好的所有的就是说可以跟学校的 PTA 啊、家长会的人就说策划这些类似的这种社区团结反对歧视仇恨那个亚裔社区的这些活动，现在的话是非常重要的，这样的话才可以让所有人都认知到这个歧视跟仇恨对整个社区整个社会的危害，所以这样的话更加好的保护我们的孩子的在学校里面免受霸凌之类的情况。Thank you. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. And thank you, Zeta. Good to see everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Anybody else from the original CP7 Zoom? Sam, yes, please. Please unmute yourself.
Sure, I'll be brief. Hi, everyone. My name is Sammy. I just want to say that you have our support. To our neighbors, you have our support. We stand with you. You are not by yourself, and that together we will defeat this monster that is racism. We stand with you. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you very much, Sam. Would you like to, Rachel?
OK 我是 Sam 我在这里呢，只是想跟大家说一下，整个社区呢是与你同在的。今天听了很多分享也是希望我们能够在一起，共同支持对方支持这个社区。谢谢。
Thank you, Sam again. Anybody else from the CP7? All right, so thank you very much again. Thank you for spending the last 2.5 hours with our community. And while we learned a lot, actually we didn't learn anything new because just happened to be a situation has been really happening for the last 12, 13 months. So again, you know, the only way that we are able to really get out of this is really by working together with our friends, with our communities, with our police department, and to really get involved with the community, to really engage with our other neighbors. I think by having a more interaction, better interaction, I think we'll be able to have a better understanding of each other's culture and background, and hoping that that would be a very good start. I really thank many of you made many good suggestions, and I'm sure that when I do the minutes of this meeting, I'll be able to really capture the ideas, and hoping that we'll be able to utilize many of the ideas suggested by you guys, and hoping that the next time we talk, we'll be able to see a better future. As I mentioned, due to the Atlanta shooting, there has been a lot more police presence in the 7266 and some other precincts. But however, we understand that there's only so much manpower that they have, so they will move out one day, and hoping not too soon. So we'll continue to talk to the local precincts to make sure that they will continue to have a presence in our community. But again, thank you very much for our lovely chair, and for all the people that are joining us today. And without your support, we just don't know what to do and where to turn. So once again, CP7 board members and all the community members that are joining us, and all the members that are attending the meeting in person, our translators, and all the people that have been supporting our technicals. So once again, thank you very much. Maria, hi, how are you, both of you? So thank you again, and hoping that we'll talk soon. Thank you again. Have a good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Be safe.
All right, thank you.